everybody. My name is Steve Smith, editor of PHC News Magazine. We're coming to you live from our booth here at the AHR Expo. And my next guest is Mark Olson, the CEO of Caleffi North America. Mark, thanks for coming.
You betcha.
I'm pretty sure Mark is pretty well known and is another one of those guys that doesn't need any introduction. If only because when I think of your company, I mean, I know you stand every step of the way with the contractors, with my readers, with my installers. And yes, they don't have to, I guess, install Caleffi, but they want to because you're always there with product, quality product, availability, which is tough the last couple of years, and training. And we're going to talk about all that stuff. I'm glad you come. Yeah.
My pleasure being here again.
I'm glad you're here. Now, we talked last September at ASPE. We did similar live interviews from a booth. And last September in Indianapolis, you told me that you expected a strong close for 2022 for Caleffi, but I guess a tougher goal of it for 2023, especially in residential side of things. Now, how did last year work out for you, and what do you see?
Well, it worked out. We had a very good close to the year, very strong. I think we were, for the most part, very happy with it. Our growth compared to the prior year was a little bit less than the prior quarters. We saw kind of a decelerating effect of growth compared to 2021. So when we looked into 2023, like, okay, what's going to happen here? And I think we were a little bit more pessimistic then than I think certainly I am now. It was substantiated for 2023, despite the real big slowdown in single family construction. You know, that has really kind of tanked, right, with the interest rates. But we're somewhat insulated from that with all of our diverse channels of business. And on top of that, I think it's not going to be too terribly deep of a slowdown in the single family. I think it's going to come back. Interest rates are going to stabilize, and even that sector is going to, by at least the second half, start to pick up, I think, again. The reps and some of the manufacturers that we're talking to at this show are quite optimistic about 2023, despite all of the, and I call it kind of the silver lining in the clouds. I think things are looking pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Now, in my intro, I talked about the fact that you do so much training for the contractors,
yes,
from readers of my magazine, and engineers too, I guess. We got to remember those guys, and wholesalers for that matter too. And I know you gave a nice award yesterday to John Siegenthaler for his work on your Hydronics magazine, which has been around for a while.
Yes.
And we talked again last year about hybrid training.
Yeah.
And I want to know about how that's going. But first, I mean, what do we mean by, when you say hybrid training, how are you defining that?
Well, hybrid is combining a couple of different formats into a training experience, at least a couple. One of the formats is basically someone remotely, an expert in a topic, whatever it might be, dialing in to some audience. And the audience could be engineers or contractors, wholesalers. And in that audience, it could be partially live or partially in person, say at an engineering firm. And they might have remote workers that are employed by the company that dial in as well. Okay. And then lastly, we will typically have presence there physically with one of our salespeople or our reps. Mm-hmm. And we're able to articulate a lot of the intricacies of our products through cutaways. So we're combining show and tell,
okay,
technical expertise in a format that is really pretty flexible.
Uh-huh.
So we kicked that off last year on the heels of COVID. It's kind of an extension of some of the webinars and stuff we've been doing until now. We're pretty good at it. And so we're really looking to ramp that up again this year, substantially.
You're happy with what happened last year when you started it?
Yeah, very happy.
Are there any new ideas you can share about hybrid training or training overall? That might be new coming.
I think what we found is that post-COVID, the audiences are much more amenable to want to do training, high-quality training, video-wise. If you have good material and you have a reputation for it being worthwhile. And I think we have dotted the I's and crossed the T's in that regard, in the eyes of the engineers and contractors. So that is what I think we have confirmed, and so as a result, we're kicking it up. We're going to look to increase our training by at least fourfold this year in terms of number of person hours. Yeah, so everyone's got a little bogey at Caleffi to try to attain that number.
Very good, very good. Now, another thing we talked about last year in Indianapolis last September, you're hopeful for Caleffi winning the Innovative Award here at the show this year, this show. How did that work out?
Well, we had a sneaky suspicion we might come out on top again, and we had submitted some hydronic products and some plumbing product ideas, but the strong one that we thought could win was the one that won. It was the #1 winner by the AHR Innovation Committee, and it was in plumbing, and it was a specially designed pressure reducing valve.
A press valve.
Press valve. I call it. It's a robust design that has a piston that goes up and down rather than a diaphragm that flexes. And there's certain applications that you're familiar with. You go into a restaurant, and in the back room they have a commercial dishwasher or washing machine that has solenoids that slam on and slam off, create pressure waves. Well, an average pressure reducing valve, that's going to just wreak havoc on that diaphragm. So we have one that can withstand that abuse, if you will. And so we're the only ones in the market. It was recognized for that by the committee, and yesterday we received, it was a pretty cool award too.
Good.
Yeah.
So the piston is the secret sauce.
Yeah, it's the Rocky Marciano of pressure.
Rocky Marciano. Now, I hope everyone knows who Rocky Marciano is. I do.
Well, you and I do anyway.
But he was a world champion boxer in what, the 50s, 60s?
I think you're over 50.
I think he retired undefeated. If I remember right.
Right, exactly.
So
he was a tough guy.
He was a tough guy.
He could take a punch, and so can this valve.
Good way to put it. Now, a couple years back, you and I got together. I guess early in the, we call it the post-pandemic time, where we're kind of just getting used to this idea that is still with us, but we gotta do something. And we talked about the barn in your warehouse. That's what you call the warehouse in Milwaukee at your U.S. headquarters. And tell me about the barn, because I gotta say, just seeing that and hearing about it at that time a couple years ago, that's how I got to see Caleffi's headquarters last June in Arona. To see how you kind of get it made there, all the shipping and logistics to get it around the world, for that matter, not just North America. And then get it to the barn and help people know that they have product availability from you guys. Right.
So we did that, and I'm a farmer from way back, helping my grandfather do and we would literally fill the barn with hay, right?
Yes.
So as the barn filled, right? So maybe it's a carryover, and probably it's a common term, but I still use it because it's a good analogy, because what we did going into COVID, when we had many disruptions in the supply chain amongst everybody, competitors, we said, okay, we are going to get ahead of the curves, stuff the barn, and make sure we have plenty of availability. And we did that. And I think we were credited with having excellent fulfillment rates. And since then, through the growth of the year, not just because of us having product, because of everything we do, I mean, the barn's getting full. And the cows have filled the barn up. So we need more room for the cows. So we're going to we're going to fill the pasture up with more barn space. And we're pushing that out probably late this year.
And the pasture being some land that you own adjacent to your existing warehouse or in the building.
It is.
So you can kind of push out.
When we bought the land way back when, it was with the thought that we're going to grow this business. Just grow the business, and when we get to the point of a certain number, we're going to push this thing out and almost triple our capacity to grow it some more.
So you're going to break ground soon? Is that the
idea?
idea?
I think probably in the fourth quarter or something like that.
So a little bit, but it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Good. Well, let's talk about my readers, contractors. What can they expect from Caleffi in the year ahead?
One thing that we're really excited about is it addresses sealing. Many of our products have union connections that give the flexibility that the contractor can have different types of tailpieces, be it PEX, expansion, press, sweat, you name it. And so sealing up against the valve using seals done reliably is something that challenges all manufacturers because of the changing water chemistry that's out there. Municipalities, they go from chlorine type disinfection to chloramines, and they have different type of properties that relates to compatibility with other materials. So we have developed a design that's called PHCPPros. It's basically a specially cured EPDM O-ring that's embedded in a face of the valve. And then when the contractor goes to connect up, rather than insert a washer and try to torque it to a certain degree and maybe pre-wet the washer, it's simply positive stop, metal to metal, you're done.
Yeah.
Plumbing, hydronic doesn't make any difference. So we're rolling that out now. We're in our second product line family that we're rolling that out, and so we're excited to roll it out to the rest of the family. Probably through the balance of the year, we're rolling out family by family.
Good. Any other new product coming out this year?
This year we have launched a number of new products, balancing valves. We call it dynamic balancing valves that have a cartridge in them, but with PT ports and lead-free for hot water recirculation. That's been a line of extension of a very popular product that we have right now. And we have quite a few other products coming down the pike that will be introduced later on this year. Didn't make our catalog. We're looking to iron out some wrinkles. One thing about Caleffi's design group, big research and development group, is we're very conservative. And when we come out with a product design, it's pretty bulletproof. And I think in your opening statement talking about Caleffi's growth, one of the things that we don't spend a lot of time on is spending time analyzing stuff coming back.
Okay.
We don't get too many things coming back because Caleffi does a great job designing, and they're very conservative, so when it does come into production, we're bulletproof pretty much.
All right, well, good. We talked about training, new product, making the barn a bigger barn.
Big barn.
Anything else think about for the company, for contractors, engineers, wholesalers in there too?
I'd say that probably you're going to expect from us this year and going forward, the engine of our growth is really centered around innovative product that solve problems. Okay, every manufacturer will probably say that, but I think we've proven it. And then we build programs around it to apply that and teach on the applications of that product so that their jobs become easier and maybe more reliable. So that's what we continue to do. And all of the products I see 4 or 5 years out are in that regard. Probably more plumbing related products being introduced, honestly, because we see a lot of upside in the growth in North America, which is right now currently the United States and Canada, in hydronics, but both of them will have lots of new innovative products.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's a lot of good stuff.
Good stuff.
Look forward to the new barn getting bigger. We can write about that.
Yeah.
Some new product we can talk about later.
Yeah, this time next year maybe you come and you'll see the big barn.
I will. Okay. Thanks for coming again.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. See you soon.